Welcome to your supernatural life, y'all.
Well, thanks.
Thank
We're
you,
glad to
Beth.
be here.
So, supercharged smoothies, I start my day every day with smoothies. And I remember when I was growing up, Carnation Instant Breakfast. I don't even think it's around anymore, but I wasn't really hungry in the morning. And so I would have like a chocolate smoothie for breakfast. And it probably wasn't very healthy for me. But now my smoothies are much more healthy. So I love your book. It's filled with fantastic recipes, supercharged. So tell us, you've written, now this is your third smoothie book. So why supercharged smoothies?
So, Beth, we wrote our first book titled Smoothies almost 13 years ago, and the second book called Super Smoothies 10 years ago. And now you're saying, why supercharged smoothies? Well, it's really the proliferation of all these supercharged ingredients that are now widely available to us. When you think of the supercharged ingredients, we'll go through some of our favorites, but a lot of them have been around for hundreds and if not thousands of years. They just haven't been widely available to us. So it was exciting to us. The timing was right to title this book Supercharged Smoothies and introduce the world to all these supercharged ingredients.
When you think about supercharged ingredients, first I want to explain what that really means. And we think of supercharged foods as those having high antioxidant quality. They're nutrient-dense foods that have vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. And these foods are natural, live, and minimally processed. So they're out there and we want you to start looking for them. And let me tell you a few that we're real excited about. And we certainly have a laundry list in the book.
Right, you've got at least 12 of them, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
and really even more than that. But some that are really exciting that you may already know about are acai, which is grown in the Amazon rainforest, and it's very similar to blueberries.
But I put that powder in my smoothies in the morning. It's really great.
It's fantastic.
And acai has more antioxidants than blueberries and pomegranates, which I think is amazing.
And then you don't have to use the actual acai fruit, because the powder you're talking about, right?
You can use the powder. You can also use the acai packs. They're frozen. You can find them at Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, the natural foods market, and they either come in unsweetened or slightly sweetened. And you can choose whatever suits your palate.
There's also some great acai blueberry juices and nectars out there.
Right.
And also sorbets if you want to be decadent.
I see. But aren't the nectars, aren't they kind of sweetened or not necessarily?
Yes, some of them are. I usually look for, there's evaporated cane juice often in them, or agave nectar, or sweetened with like an apple juice concentrate. So...
But anyway, acai is a fabulous supercharged ingredient. We also love cacao nibs and powder, and that's essentially what chocolate is made of.
It's the source of all chocolate and cocoa products.
So it's raw.
It's raw
cocoa.
Exactly.
Is cacao different than cocoa?
It's minimally processed, so it's not as processed as cocoa powder.
And it also is not as sweet. Cocoa powder. Well, you can get unsweetened cocoa powder. I find that cacao has its own distinct flavor. It's in the same family as the cocoa powder, but it's a little different.
And what I love about it is it enhances the physical and mental well-being of all of us. I always feel like it's a mood enhancer.
Oh, absolutely. If cocoa is just mildly a mood enhancer, this ratchets it up about 10 times. But anyway, chia seeds are another fantastic superfood that we discovered really while writing this book. They are cultivated, or they've been cultivated by the Aztecs for years and years and have just come back to the market here recently. And they're known for increasing people's energy and, gosh, a whole laundry list of great things.
Chock full of omega-3s, antioxidants, phytonutrients.
And also fiber, too.
Lots of fiber, lots of protein, and vitamins and minerals as well.
And goji berries. I don't know if you know about goji berries, Beth.
I've seen them in bottles, like goji juice.
Yes.
Is that?
But the actual berries, it's an an Asian superfood, been around medicinally for thousands of years. They look like little pink raisins.
That's right.
They're sort of elongated, shriveled little pink raisins, if you will. That's the general appearance of
Right.
them.
What the problem, well, not the problem, but the way I like to eat the goji berries, because they're not that sweet, is the chocolate dipped ones. And I'm sure,
Delicious.
I'm sure
Well, you're
that's
getting
not
antioxidants
right.
from the
We like
chocolate.
them particularly in smoothies because when you blend them up, you're not as aware of the seediness in them. So we think
great.
smoothies are a fantastic way to consume goji berries. But we have other
Wait,
ingredients.
Just how many goji berries would you put? A handful?
Oh, a small handful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or a tablespoon. Like what?
A couple tablespoons.
Couple
would be fine.
tablespoons, and these little berries they're known to strengthen the immune system, protect the liver. They provide anti-aging effects, and really good for cardiovascular health. So a lot of nutrient density in those little seeds.
Well, if you're just joining us, I'm Beth Greer, and I'm speaking with cookbook authors Mary Barber and her sister Sara Whiteford on Your Supernatural Life here on Green 960. So go ahead. We're talking about
I'm
antioxidants.
just talking about superfoods. Wanted to mention a few more. There's kefir and hemp seeds. Do you know about these ingredients?
I do. I was making my own kefir from raw milk for a while, but then it
Of
got.
course, you're making your own kefir, Beth. I love you for that.
But it was very work intensive, and then it didn't taste that yummy. You know, it was kind of sour and.
Yeah, I think of kefir as a drinkable yogurt that contains different types of beneficial bacteria. You've heard of probiotics or the probiotic yogurts out there. This is really about boosting your immune health. And so kefir and yogurt and
Greek yogurt.
There's just lots of different yogurts and kefirs out there that are flavored differently, and you can find
A
what
great
you
base
like.
for smoothies.
Exactly. Hemp seeds are another fantastic superfood. They're loaded with omega-3 fatty acid.
Also a
And-
good source of fiber, magnesium, iron, zinc, and potassium.
Yeah,
So
and hemp
seeds.
seeds they have a mild flavor and they blend beautifully in smoothies. If I was to describe how they taste, a little bit of
nutty.
a nuttiness.
You know, would
associated with them.
you include hemp and chia in the same smoothie, or is it like going overboard?
You know, I think we are a nation deprived of omega-3s. And so I would sometimes add both, but sometimes I just keep them around and I'll just alternate. I think I'm a believer that your body absorbs what it needs and then passes the rest. So, you know, I tend to use one or two at a time and not
Yeah.
overload, but I keep them
And
around.
you can also make hemp seed milk. We talk about making almond milk and hazelnut milk in this book. And you can also make hemp seed milk. And
It's easy, right?
rich and nutty. It is easy.
It's one of the things I do. I make my own almond milk.
I do too.
I do too.
Every
And
couple of days
once
because
you
we go
ta-
through it. Yeah,
Once you taste your own,
Right.
you're really never going to go
never
back.
go back.
No.
So can you share with our listeners like a really quick recipe for that?
Absolutely. It's as simple as soaking your preferably raw almonds or hazelnuts. And you can soak them for 6 to 8 hours or overnight. Sometimes I'm in a pinch and I'll do it for 4 hours or 3 hours. Depends on my schedule sometimes. And then we will strain them, throw them in a blender with some water.
It's about 1 part nuts to 4 parts water. That's what I usually do. But you can make the equivalent of sort of skim milk, or you can make it rich and creamy and decadent. You can, depending on the ratio of nuts to water. I usually do about 1 to 4. Mary, you love it really creamy.
I make almond cream.
and Mary likes it really creamy.
so
So
what
do you?
My ratio is probably 1 to 3.
Oh,
And
okay.
I
do
eyeball it.
I do 1 to 4. But
So you just throw it in the blender.
A
and
high speed blender works really well, and I usually let it run for a couple minutes, and then I let it sit for about 15 minutes before I pass it through a nut milk
Oh,
bag.
really? Why is that?
Well, because it continues to release the oils, and so it just
Oh.
gives it a little richer
Great,
flavor.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
It
So I
does
let
make it more
sit
flavorful.
for 15 minutes, and then I add a little pinch of sea salt and a little bit of vanilla extract, and sometimes just a dot of agave nectar
Or maple
just-
syrup. I
or
use
maple
maple
syrup.
Because you know what, I've
Yeah.
been using dates for
Yes,
for
that's-
the 1 to 4. I do 3 dates, and it seems
Okay,
and a little
that's
salt.
great.
And
That's probably even
Fantastic.
healthier.
A little sweetness really does bring out the flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you use maple syrup or agave nectar or dates, I think it really makes a difference. So I highly recommend that. Some recipes don't call for for that.
Right.
And the Himalayan sea salt is really great. Just a pinch of salt and the vanilla. Sometimes I even put a vanilla bean in there. I'll take one of the vanilla beans that I've already scraped like weeks ago that's hanging out in my refrigerator in a little bourbon. And I just drop the whole vanilla bean that has been scraped. It's a way that I use my old vanilla beans. And then I'll just throw that in, and then it gets passed through a nut milk bag. And I
You
didn't
can
have a
use a
nut milk
strainer.
bag for a long time.
Right.
And I just used a fine mesh strainer, and that works fine too.
Oh, I got bags at the paint store for like $1.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Or you can, we
Fantastic.
ordered it from Cafe Gratitude has nut milk bags, and also purejoyplanet.com. You can order it from Elena
Right.
Love, isn't it? Purejoyplanet.com.
It's great. It's so healthy, and especially if you're lactose intolerant, and it's
Fantastic.
yeah, it's really fantastic.